The manga opens with a girl waking up to her alarm. As she gets ready, she pauses in front of the mirror and thinks she looks cute today. At the bus stop, Haruna Hurabe sits alone, until a cheerful voice calls out to her. It's Kinoshita, greeting her and noting she's early for once. Haruna, a bit flustered, replies that it's usually him who's early, so she considers this her small win and playfully asks for a treat. Kinoshita, caught off guard, recalls how Haruna usually avoids going out, but with a shy smile, she admits that today she really wants to go see a deer. That's her simple goal. They head to the zoo, where Haruna seems unusually excited. Curious about her sudden interest, Kinoshita asks why she's so eager to see deer. Acting cute, Haruna simply says she finds them adorable. Kinoshita, unimpressed by her charm, remarks that next time they should plan their destination in advance. As they get ready to go in, Haruna lifts her thermos with enthusiasm, catching his eye. When he asks about it, she smiles and calls it her charm point of the day. Later, she wonders if he's ever walked around with a thermos. When he questions her reasoning, she explains it's a trend among popular boys to brew tea in the morning, implying he should try it. Kinoshita jokes if that makes her popular now, and Haruna quickly replies that she doesn't like boys who overthink things like he does. While on the train, Kinoshita revisits their earlier talk and wonders why plastic bottles aren't good enough anymore, noting how vending machines are everywhere. Haruna, calm and confident, explains that making drinks makes them feel more rewarding and stylish. Blushing, she adds it's the kind of mindset an adult woman might have. Kinoshita, unconvinced, thinks she sounds more like a middle-aged woman discovering instant noodles. Bursting with energy, Haruna insists that sometimes they just want to look cool, and that's how she feels today. Though he stays quiet, Kinoshita admits to himself there's something oddly charming about her. At the zoo, Haruna is full of excitement, practically glowing, while Kinoshita follows behind, already drained by her energy. As she eagerly skips toward the deer enclosure, he grows suspicious of her mood. Her excitement feels a bit too much, and he wonders if there's more to it. Checking her thermos, he catches an odd scent. Haruna awkwardly smiles, caught off guard. Concerned, Kinoshita suggests they end the trip, but Haruna insists they haven't seen the deer yet. Reluctantly, he follows her. The moment they arrive, Haruna bursts into laughter, leaving Kinoshita stunned. He wonders if this is really the same mature woman she claimed to be. Watching her lose it over something so small, he sighs and warns her not to bring anything strange again. She clearly stands out in the crowd. He leads her to a bench and hands her water. Once she calms down, he questions her actions. Haruna apologizes and says she just wanted to feel excited and have fun. Still worried, Kinoshita warns her she could end up in trouble. But instead of backing down, Haruna turns to him and softly asks if she looked cute while being full of energy. With a straight face, Kinoshita replies that this version of her doesn't appeal to him. A little disappointed, Haruna stands and tries to change the mood by inviting him to see something he might like. She asks if there's anything he wants to check out, and they head off to the emas together. While watching the birds, Kinoshita reminds her to stick with just tea next time. He adds that today is fine since he was with her, but warns against doing anything risky again. With a mischievous smile, Haruna admits she only acts like this around him. Kinoshita feels something stir inside but keeps a straight face, simply telling her to behave properly no matter who she's with. The next day, Haruna treats Kinoshita to a meal. She has just been paid and is wearing new clothes, immediately catching his attention. With a proud smile, Haruna shows off and points out the difference between a senior student and a working lady. Kinoshita reacts by mentioning that he no longer needs to treat her now. While they gaze at the moon together, Haruna quietly mentions how beautiful it looks. Kinoshita finds it a bit strange. After watching her for a moment, he decides it's time to head home and offers to walk her. But Haruna isn't ready to leave yet. Already being at the shopping center, she urges him to do something fun. Kinoshita explains that he doesn't have much time, though he admits he wants to stay with her. She then announces a fashion show and calls it a shopping date, which leaves both of them feeling shy as the words linger in their minds. Kinoshita admits having no idea about women's clothes, which makes Haruna think he's adorable and pure-hearted. She tells him to just follow along and tries on different outfits, cute, formal, and casual. When it's time to choose, she looks to him for his opinion, and he shyly confesses that he liked all of them. Once her shopping is done, she suggests wandering around the mall a little longer. She playfully models her purchases, making cute faces to entertain him. Later, they sit on a bench and share drinks. Haruna brings up the outfits again, lightly pointing out how everything suits her but wondering if he really has no favorites. Kinoshita, flustered and red-faced, admits it's too hard to pick just one. Haruna playfully nudges Kinoshita and wonders what's bothering him, while he tries to stay composed despite feeling flustered by her cuteness. He keeps a straight face, though his reaction is obvious. Trying to distract himself, he brings up the dresses and wonders which one Senpai ended up buying since she tried on so many. She smirks and leans closer, teasing him about being curious, and questions whether he really wants to know what she picked. With a mischievous grin, she then brings up a scenario. What if the dress she bought is meant for a date with her boyfriend? She watches him closely while asking what he would do in that case. Kinoshita lowers his head and replies calmly that it's fine, and says it's good for her. His quiet tone makes Haruna feel like she may have gone too far. Noticing the shift in his expression, she quickly waves it off with a laugh, saying she's only joking and doesn't actually have a boyfriend. Kinoshita feels a quiet relief, though he doesn't show much. Haruna, noticing his silence, apologizes gently and insists she didn't mean to upset him. He keeps a straight face and responds that he isn't upset at all. Trying to lighten the mood again, she curiously brings up his type of girls. As Kinoshita's face slowly turns red, she grins and wonders why he's blushing so much. He tries to stay calm and mutters if she's enjoying teasing him, doing his best to hide the emotions he's clearly struggling to contain. Later, Haruna invites Kinoshita over to her place for drinks. He scolds her for thinking about drinking so early in the morning. She keeps insisting, but he refuses, explaining that he's been working all night. Trying to convince him, she mentions that she also stayed up, claiming her creativity peaks at 3 a.m., and she checks again if he's coming. But Kinoshita still declines, wondering why she's so sure he would. Haruna grins and points out that his voice already gives it away. He sounds like he wants to. Eventually, Kinoshita gives in and casually asks if he should bring any side snacks. Kinoshita brings some snacks and heads to Haruna's place, only to find her already drunk. He holds up a bag of groceries, explaining that he wasn't sure what kind of snacks to bring, so he picked up a few basics instead. Haruna lights up, clearly excited, admitting she's been out of groceries lately. That made Kinoshita pause, wondering what she had been drinking with before. Haruna casually reveals it was soy sauce, mentioning it tasted a bit savory. Kinoshita stares in disbelief, questioning if she really couldn't wait just a little longer for him to arrive. Eventually, they both crack open a can. Kinoshita mentions he'll only take a few sips since she invited him, but reminds her he has school tomorrow. He also confesses that he normally doesn't drink, which catches Haruna completely off guard. Kinoshita, concerned, points out that constant drinking, junk food, and lack of sleep will send her to the hospital at this rate. Haruna lets out a small laugh and admits she was about to take a nap a few hours ago, but decided to call him instead, thinking he must have wrapped up his own work by then. She adds that talking about her feelings makes her a little shy. Fidgeting slightly, she explains that tight deadlines have kept her isolated lately, making it hard to reach out to anyone. Kinoshita quietly agrees, understanding the pressure too well. Curious, he wonders what she's been working on. Haruna brings up a newly released game and mentions she's handling its review and interviews. Kinoshita winces at how tough it sounds, and Haruna begins sharing all the details as they sit together, drinking. Kinoshita, not realizing he's had too much to drink, starts feeling dizzy, and turns to Haruna, asking how she's doing. She casually mentions feeling hot and begins removing her clothes, leaving Kinoshita flustered. He quickly urges her to put them back on, but she leans in with a grin, playfully questioning if he's enjoying the view. Keeping a straight face, Kinoshita points out she's got some nerve teasing a guy who isn't even her boyfriend. Still playful, she tells him to get used to it. This isn't the first time she's done something like this. Kinoshita finally snaps and stands his ground, reminding her that he's still a grown man, and she should keep that in mind. She just giggles, finding even this part of him cute, and jokes that only she has the right to approach him, no one else. As the teasing continues, she shares that she always wanted a brother, but grew up in a house full of girls. While rambling, her energy fades, and she suddenly falls asleep mid-sentence. Kinoshita, watching her sleep like a child after all the chaos, gently places a blanket over her. Eventually, he dozes off beside her. A while later, Haruna wakes up groggy and confused, her head spinning, convinced something might have happened between them. Kinoshita, still half asleep, calmly reassures her that nothing happened, and tells her to put her clothes back on first. Soon after, she takes a break from her work and heads to the kitchen for a snack, but finds nothing to eat. She then checks for cigarettes, but the pack is empty, so she decides to go out and buy some. After changing her clothes, feeling that fresh outfits lift her mood, she steps outside and wonders if Kinoshita might be free today. The thought quickly turns into hesitation. This time is hers, and she should enjoy it alone. If he joins, they'll likely end up drinking again, and she still has work waiting. Even so, the urge wins over, and she texts to check his availability. After sending the message, she considers picking up one of those cream puffs that recently gained popularity. A notification pops up. Kinoshita is still in class and will be free in 30 minutes. He also plans to stop by after changing and returning her CD. A flicker of guilt passes through her, wondering if she's depending on him too much, but she shakes it off. Passing a pastry shop, she slows down and considers stopping. She could use something sweet to relax. A moment later, she steps inside and orders 2 cream puffs. With the box in hand, she walks out thinking she originally wanted a smoke, but cream puffs work just as well. Sitting on a nearby bench while waiting, she picks a meeting spot and sends another message, asking Kinoshita to meet at Miseratory Park. She also mentions she picked up something cool. His response comes quickly. There's no need. The short reply dims her mood. She follows up with a message saying she won't bother bringing gifts anymore, which leaves him confused about what she meant. Haruna arrives at the park and waves when she spots him. Kinoshita mentions she should have come earlier if she already had something planned. He returns the game CDs, and she hands over the cream puffs, explaining she's been too busy lately for any real hangout. This is her way of making up for it. She offers him the strawberry one and suggests they go out another time. For today, cream puffs will have to do. While eating, Kinoshita glances over and wonders aloud what hers tastes like. Haruna narrows her eyes at the question, unsure why he's suddenly curious. He brushes it off, offering no reason though he keeps watching her, convinced she's up to something. Without hesitation, she holds out her cream puff and nudges it toward him. Kinoshita freezes, wondering why she would offer her cream puff so casually to her junior. The idea of an indirect kiss flashes through his mind, but he quickly pushes the thought away and leans in for a bite, mentally scolding himself for acting like a middle schooler. As he finishes chewing, Haruna starts to blush while watching him closely. She starts blushing while looking at him, and Kinoshita realizes she has successfully tricked him, which leaves him embarrassed. While sitting in a cafe, Haruna scrolls through her cosplay pictures, enjoying them quietly, until a voice from behind startles her. Kinoshita's presence catches her off guard, and she quickly hides her phone, her expression nervous as she checks whether he saw anything. He offers no reaction, giving her nothing to confirm her worry. Unknown to Haruna, Kinoshita has in fact caught a glimpse of the image, and it only confirms what he's already known for a long time. Her secret cosplay hobby. For a moment he considers bringing it up, but ultimately chooses to remain quiet. Not long after, Haruna leaves the cafe and stops by a shop. Inside, she greets a familiar man named Ryo-san, who remarks on how long it's been since they last met. Haruna, unfazed, casually notes that she visits this place almost daily. Ryo chuckles and admits that doing nothing while sitting around lately has ruined his time management. He then shifts the topic to Kinoshita, wondering how he's doing. Haruna replies that nothing has changed, he's still the same, and she questions why he's asking her about Kinoshita at all. Ryo points out that she's always glued to him, so it's only natural to be curious. Curious himself, he then inquires what brings her here today. She explains that 2 girls who work at the shop had called her over. The man nods and heads off to get them. A moment later, 2 girls, Ruri and Hizui, appear, both lighting up at the sight of Haruna. Hizui rushes to greet her, immediately noticing a change in her appearance and commenting that she looks slimmer than before, questioning whether she's been eating balanced meals. Ruri steps in to calm Hizui's enthusiasm. With a gentle tone, Ruri apologizes for the sudden invitation, but Haruna shrugs it off, mentioning she has plenty of free time lately. She then casually wonders what this impromptu meeting is about. The girls present a costume, revealing it's a Rosalia Dark Myth version outfit from Spellfield, and encourage her to try it on. While admiring the design, Hizui remarks that Haruna doesn't seem to have lost any weight after all, clearly amused. Haruna compliments the quality of the costume and hesitates briefly, wondering if it's okay to try on something meant for a customer. Hizui clears up the confusion, revealing that the outfit hasn't been ordered by anyone. It was made especially for Haruna, in honor of her past promise to wear it to the upcoming festival. As Haruna holds the costume, a memory surfaces of the time she casually mentioned doing just that. After changing into the outfit, she appears slightly uncomfortable, unsure of how it looks. But both girls beam with approval, reassuring her that it suits her far better than it did on either of them. Hisui explains that Rosalia is a deeply important character to her, and she wanted someone special, like Haruna, to wear the costume. Haruna offers a polite thank you but still feels unease creeping in, unsure of what exactly she's gotten herself into. Hisui expresses excitement for the festival, but Haruna admits she isn't sure she'll be free that day. Her response doesn't surprise them. They already expected such hesitation. Not wanting her to back out, the girls exchange a knowing glance and come up with a plan. Hisui proposes inviting Kinoshita to the festival as well. Haruna raises an eyebrow, wondering what that would change. Hisui responds with a grin, pointing out that festivals are best enjoyed by couples. The comment leaves Haruna stunned, and she quickly corrects the misunderstanding. There's no romantic relationship between them. They're simply friends with a senior-junior dynamic. The girls blink in confusion, before Ruri mentions that Ryo-san had given them a completely different impression, having claimed that Haruna and Kinoshita were a couple. Haruna, clearly irritated, heads off to confront Ryo-san about it. A short while later, Kinoshita receives a message on his phone. It's a photo sent by Ruri, showing Haruna dressed in the cosplay outfit. Along with it, she includes a playful note asking what he thinks. Staring at the image, Kinoshita finds himself unsure whether to think she looks pretty or not. Later, Haruna goes with Kinoshita to watch a movie. Kinoshita suggests trying something other than Godzilla, since they always end up watching that. But Haruna, lost in her own thoughts, doesn't hear a word he says. When she finally responds, she only wonders why he's calling her name, and completely misses what he mentioned earlier, confidently deciding they're going to watch Godzilla again. Ignoring his opinion, she casually mentions that she forgot to bring her lighter and needs to stop by a convenience store. Hearing this, Kinoshita is struck by how familiar the moment feels. A memory surfaces, standing behind the counter during his part-time shift at a convenience store, eyes fixed on the clock as he waits for someone. Right on time, Haruna enters and heads straight to buy a pack of cigarettes. At that moment, Kinoshita thinks of her as a Yankee girl who always shows up for smokes. After her purchase, she leaves, and even then, something about her lingers in his mind. He finds her pretty. As his shift ends, Kinoshita hands over to Kobayashi, who compliments him on a job well done. Kinoshita hurries to head home but pauses when he spots Haruna sitting outside the store with a cigarette in hand, unlit. Wondering why she hasn't lit it yet, he hesitates. Haruna notices him, and although he tries to walk past without engaging, her gaze doesn't leave him. Eventually he checks on her, finding out she simply doesn't have a lighter. After hearing that the store carries them, she heads back in, buys one, lights her cigarette, and gestures for him to stay a while and chat. They sit together, and she casually asks about his job. He shares that he's a freshman, and in return, Haruna reveals she's a fourth-year student. Kinoshita is genuinely surprised to learn she's in college. She explains that it's her final year, and with all the workload, she often comes here to unwind and smoke. She's seen him many times during those visits. As they talk further, they discover they attend the same school. Kinoshita offhandedly mentions her strong tolerance for cold, noticing how unaffected she looks in the chilly weather, which draws laughter from Haruna. The conversation turns toward movies, and Haruna lights up when she hears he's a fan. Kinoshita brings up a newly released Godzilla movie, and she reacts with excitement, having already seen it. Their discussion grows animated as they chat about horror films and other favorites. Haruna, warmed by the moment, reflects on how long it's been since she's had a conversation like this. She notices Kinoshita staring and teases him with a knowing look. Without letting the moment pass, she reaches for his phone, intent on exchanging numbers. Although he admits he's not into phone calls, she doesn't back off. While holding his phone, she remarks on how easily they clicked, convinced their meeting was fated. Her energy pulls him in, and he finds himself agreeing. She then wonders aloud what name she should save him under. He gives her his full name, Kinoshita Natsume, and they both realize they never introduced themselves properly. She also shares her name, Haruna Urabe, and adds with a smile that he can call her Haru-chan.